If you ever looked up Ocean City, New Jersey real estate and thought, wait a minute, is that number really real? You're not alone. Ocean City is beautiful and it's special and it's deeply loved, but I gotta be honest, it's not inexpensive. Hi, I'm JoAnn Donahue with JoAnn at the Shore. I have 4 generations of family roots here along the South Jersey Shore, and I've spent more than 27 years helping people buy and sell the real estate that becomes part of their story. So today, we're talking about what it actually costs to live in Ocean City, New Jersey in 2026. And I'm not going to give you vague numbers, I'm going to give you real numbers. And we'll talk about buying versus renting, property taxes, flood insurance, and I'm even going to bring in groceries, utilities, and commuting. But get this straight, this is not just look how expensive Ocean City is video, because the other side of the story matters too. Stick with me, we're going to get there. Ocean City has also had one of the strongest appreciation stories along the Jersey Shore, and rental income can be a major part of the picture for some owners. So by the end of this video, I hope you'll have a clearer understanding of where your money goes, what that price tag is really buying you, and maybe nearby towns like Somers Point, Marmora, Margate, and Ventnor may give you more breathing room. Let's get into it, okay? Let's start with the biggest line item, because in Ocean City, housing really is the whole story. And depending on the source and the month you're looking at, the median or average home price in Ocean City is landing somewhere between the mid 800s and over $1 million. I told you it depends on where you look. I'm going to give you an example. Zillow has had the average home value around the high 900s, while some recent Redfin numbers have pushed that number closer to 1.4 million because higher end sales can move the median quickly here. So for practical purposes, I tell people to think in the terms of roughly 850 to over $1 million for many homes. And then, of course, oceanfront and bayfront properties move well beyond that. We recently saw a new construction bayfront sale close at 12.4 million. So yes, Ocean City has levels. Now, homes are also sitting longer than they were a few years ago. We're seeing the average days on market in around 54 to 100-day range. And that's depending on the property and the price point. And that does not mean Ocean City is weak. It simply means buyers have a little more time and a little more breathing room than they did during that frenzy that we were in and that we're out of, thank you, Jesus. And breathing room, in my opinion, matters. Now, let's talk taxes. Ocean City sits in Cape May County, and it actually has one of the lower effective property tax rates in New Jersey. And that comes in around 1.41. And that sounds like good news, and in some ways it is. But 1.41% on a $900,000 property is still around $12,000 a year in taxes. So the simple way to say it is this. Ocean City may have a lower tax rate, but the home values are high. So the actual bill, it still matters. Low rate, big numbers. That's basically Ocean City in a nutshell. Now let's tear that nutshell apart and dig in, shall we? Now, if you're thinking about renting instead of buying, you need to understand something important. Ocean City is primarily a seasonal rental market. A lot of housing stock is built around weekly summer rentals, not year-round leases. That makes year-round rentals much harder to find and often more expensive than people expect. Recent numbers have average asking rentals around $3,000 a month. Even one-bedroom rentals can surprise people. And that's simply because of the pressure from the short-term rentals. If you're looking for a true year-round lease, timing matters. Off-season is usually your better window, and you may have more luck slightly off the island in places like Somers Point and Marmora, or other nearby mainland towns for those leases. So renting can work, but you need flexibility. Buying is where the larger financial commitment lives. And we'll talk about why that commitment has paid off for many owners in just a bit. Everyday costs, I want to go there first. I'm going to bring in groceries and utilities because I want to move beyond the housing, because life is not just your mortgage or your rent. Groceries in Ocean City are usually a little above national average. Not outrageous, but definitely New Jersey plus a shore town premium. A single person might budget somewhere around $400 to $440 a month for food, where a family of four may be closer to $1,400 or more a month for food. Utilities are a little more nuanced. Some cost of living indexes actually show Ocean City utilities as fairly reasonable compared with other parts of New Jersey. So that's good news. But here's the real life part. Summer air conditioning and winter heating on a barrier island can add up, especially in older homes that were not built with today's energy efficiency in mind. So think salt air, humidity, wind, older construction, all of that plays into the cost of living here. For one person, non-housing basics like food, utilities, and everyday needs may run around $900 to $1,000 a month. For a family of four, you might want to think closer to $2,000 to $2,200 a month. Not shocking for New Jersey, but still important to plan for. Let's talk transportation and commuting. That's something that a lot of people don't think about. Ocean City is a barrier island. It's connected to the mainland by bridges, and most people are coming and going through Route 52, Route 9, or the Garden State Parkway. There's no direct train into Ocean City itself. So unless you are living, working, and playing entirely on the island, you are going to need a car. If you commute to Atlantic City or Summers Point, Egg Harbor Township, or any of the surrounding areas, you may be looking at 20 to 40 minutes each way, depending on the season. And July and August, that's an entirely different animal all on its own, because the tourist traffic changes everything. You could be stuck on any one of those bridges for quite a while getting on and off. So gas, insurance, maintenance, car payments, wear and tear can easily run $800 to $1,500 a month per household, depending on your situation and depending on the type of car you have. So yes, you can walk the boardwalk and bike to the beach and enjoy that summer lifestyle. But for real everyday living, commuting, work, school, errands, most people are car dependent. Let's talk about some hidden costs of shore ownership. Again, that a lot of people don't figure out until they get here. This is the section that catches people off guard. If you're buying in Ocean City, you also need to understand flood insurance. A large share of properties here are in flood zones. And if you have a mortgage, flood insurance, it typically is required. Depending on the property, the elevation certificate, and proximity to water, flood insurance can range from a few $100s a year to well over $2,000 a year. Then you have homeowners insurance, which is also affected by coastal storm risk and wind exposure. So those premiums are a little bit higher. And then there is the maintenance piece. Salt air is beautiful. Salt air is also rude to our houses. Think paint, railings, decks, high-vac systems, windows, exterior fixtures. Shore homes need care. So when you're budgeting, I would not only look at the mortgage payment, I would also leave room for taxes, insurance, flood coverage, and ongoing maintenance. For many Ocean City homeowners, those extra home ownership costs can easily add $3,000 to $6,000 or more per year beyond your mortgage and basic property tax. This is not meant to scare anyone. This is meant to prepare you, because prepared buyers make better decisions. And that matters to me, that you go in making the best decisions for you and your family. Now, we've talked about cost. Let's talk about what that cost has done historically. Here's the other side of the story. Because Ocean City has not just been expensive, it has also been a strong long-term real estate market. Over the last 10 years, Ocean City real estate has appreciated somewhere around 130%. And folks, that's significant. If you step back and look at just the last 5 years alone, Ocean City home values have increased by more than 50%. Remarkable on its own. Even over the past year, while many parts of the country saw prices level off or cool, Ocean City continued to outperform many markets across the entire nation. Now, that does not mean every property is the same. It does not mean every buyer should stretch beyond their comfort level. And it certainly does not mean prices only go in one direction. But it does explain why Ocean City continues to attract serious interest. This is a multi-generational destination. Families come here. They come back here. They buy here, rent, and then they pass homes down from here. That kind of demand matters. And if you bought a home here 10 years ago, that same property may have been dramatically less expensive than it is today. That is the power of appreciation over time. And Ocean City seems to have a market on that power. Now, let's talk about rental income, because this is where Ocean City separates itself from many shore towns. Many shore towns hate the rental aspect, but Ocean City is an established rental vacation destination. Well-located homes can bring in serious summer rental income. Some larger or newer properties may generate $100,000 to $200,000 or more per year. Smaller units closer to the beach or boardwalk may be able to offset a portion of expenses during the strongest summer weeks. And yes, there are summer weeks that are stronger than others. Now, I always want to be careful here. Rental income depends on location, condition, number of bedrooms. Parking is a huge thing to offer, amenities, and the week's selection. And then there's management and demand. It is not automatic, but for many owners, rental income is part of the reason that they can justify the taxes and the insurance and the maintenance cost. The property is not just sitting here, it may be working for them, and that matters too. And beyond that, the spreadsheet, there is the lifestyle piece. Ocean City is a dry town, and it's known for its boardwalk, its wide beaches, its family atmosphere, and its long-standing reputation as America's greatest family resort. That reputation has huge value. That stability has more value. That is part of what people are buying. If you love Ocean City lifestyle, but the island itself feels out of reach, there are several nearby towns worth considering. Marmora, which is part of Upper Township and Cape May County, is just off the island about 5 to 10 minutes. And that keeps you close to the beach, depending on where you are in that township. You can often find single-family homes at a much lower price point than Ocean City. And it has a practical access to the Garden State Parkway. Summers Point is another really strong option, which also offers some water views. And when you buy a view with water, you're golden. And that's right over the bridge and offers more affordability while keeping you minutes from the island. Further along the barrier island, Margate and Ventnor may also be worth considering, especially if your life or work is closer to Atlantic City. Ventnor in particular can sometimes offer more affordability while still giving you an oceanfront community. And then you have mainland towns, like Egg Harbor Township, Northfield, Linwood, and parts of Galloway. That's where I live, and I grew up in Absecon. I've always been 15 miles west of the shore. These towns may offer more space, lower prices, and still keep you within the reasonable drive to the beach. It worked for me all these years, and trust me, I'm old. The pattern is simple. Every mile you move off the island, your housing cost drops. Your commute usually grows, and there's no right answer because it depends on what matters most to you. I'm just giving you all the options that are out here because I love this area. I truly do. The Jersey Shore is my home, and I would love to help you find your place in it. So, is Ocean City, New Jersey expensive? Yes, especially if you're buying. But expensive doesn't automatically mean impossible, and it does not always mean overpriced. You have to look at the full picture. The housing cost, the taxes, the insurance, the maintenance, the possible rental potential, and the appreciation history. And then, of course, the lifestyle you are actually buying into. Ocean City is not the right fit for everyone, but for the right person or family, it can make a lot of sense, especially when you go in with real numbers instead of just vibes and your dream. And if the island itself is out of reach right now, like I said, places like Somers Point, Marmora, Ventnor, Margate, Linwood, Egg Harbor Township, Northfield may give you more room to breathe while keeping you close to the shore. If this video helped you, drop a comment with the town you are comparing Ocean City to. I read the comments and they help me decide which South Jersey Shore town to break down next. And if you're seriously considering a move, subscribe or grab my link and jump on a call. No pressure, no agenda, ever. I am JoAnn Donahue with JoAnn at the Shore. Thanks for being here with me, and I'll see you on the next video.